All right, all right. Hello, hello. Welcome everyone back to season 5, Big K? Season 5 of the Happy Hour Show?
He knows better than I do, but it sounds about right.
It's in the title of the program.
Oh, hey, it's up there. It's up there. I see it.
How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Good. Can't complain.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Well, good to have you back and see it. You know, it's been like a month or so-ish. You know, we did some episodes throughout the summer there, but how was the rest of your summer since I've seen you?
I mean, you know, it's been a lot better the past, few days. The past three or four.
Why do you think that is?
Just, there's been these things that we've been missing for a while.
Yeah, I have some of the nice colored things.
They're green. Yes, that's right. They're green.
Yeah.
I forgot what it looked like for a while, and now they're back. I'm like, oh, buddy, I'm so glad to see you again, Green Candle. So that's been cool. Other than that, now the school year started, so I'm deep in the thick of that. And other than that, I don't know, just enjoying the September was has been better than August already.
That's right.
So that's cool.
All right, I like it. It has been. Let's keep this going. I would like to say too that we started planning this show at the bottom. Like this was before we started setting this up. Like at point what?
Three something.
Yeah, we got a little of the happy hour magic back. So let's just keep it going, shall we? So yeah.
Indeed, sir. Indeed. Cheers to that.
Chat, we will say hello to you shortly, but we do need to bring in some special
We've got guests.
First off, you might know him as Rags2Riches. Let's bring in Mr. Brandon Davis. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing quite fine. Thank you for inviting me on your lovely show. Big fan. Big K, I wanted to point out, man, you look different in a good way.
Yes,
you like lost weight. You look healthy. I mean, what's going on?
A little of all. I mean, I have been working out a little bit. I'm not like at the goals that I wish to be at, but we're getting there. But then the other day, also on another level, yes, I had the children, as some sort of exciting moment, shave all of this off. So this is like freshly. This is only like a week old, so I probably hadn't done a full clean shave in. I don't know. I did the math. I think it was the other day. I was like 10 or 9 years. I don't know. Long time.
Oh, wow.
Long time since I cleaned it all off. So I did that. It was pretty fun. They did it. They went to town. It was fun. and then they weren't all like, terrified of the situation afterwards. They were like, this was fun, So it was a core moment, kind of thing. So thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Good to be here, guys.
Glad to have you.
And I'm excited about this one because this gentleman has never been on the official Happy Hour show. I do believe he's been on like some celebratory streams and whatnot. But the first time for Mr. Marco The Hexican. How you doing, sir?
Yo. What's up, guys? What's up, fellas?
Marco.
Brandon, what's up, buddy? BK, Cabana, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, man? Good
to
see
you. Good to see you, sir. Good to have you on.
And he's on brand because he too has a green backdrop with all this green candle energy around. I mean, it's a good time to be on, man.
Yeah.
A nice hat too, by the way.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it, man.
Did you make that one as well?
Always. Always.
Marco,
I only wear my product now, man. That's it.
I was gonna say it's the man for merch.
That's it.
So
when I leave the house.
Awesome. How you been?
I'm chilling, man. Good. School started for the kids, so getting that out of the way and just excited, man. The market's looking good all around. So it's exciting. The energy from all different sizes are just celebrating and having a good time. So that's what matters. It's just like let's focus on the good stuff, and it's fun, man. It's fun when that's happening.
Outstanding. And what would the season premiere of Happy Hour be without a surprise or two? So we got a little surprise guest, Miss Wild SJ. How are you doing?
Oh shit.
Hello.
What's
Hey,
up?
everybody. I'm fantastic. I'm doing really well. I've learned a lot of first cycle lessons. I'm just happy to be here.
Fresh from the PulseChain tour, am I correct?
Yeah, fresh off the Europe boat. Going on, we got a couple more excursions going on. I'm leaving for a cruise in a week. So
All right.
Oh, enjoy.
Don't tell us where that is, because that could be a trivia question for the panelists later.
You said don't mention.
Yeah, don't spill the beans yet, but the audience probably knows. But anyway, there might be a PulseChain tour question or two actually in some trivia. But tell us, what would you like to tell us? Because I've heard some rumblings about maybe, I've obviously cruises and conferences and meetups, and of course the New York thing. Maybe you can provide us a revision of that, since that just got pushed back a week. What's new in Tourland?
Oof, man. So that was a big, not the biggest surprise, because we kind of knew, right? We'd heard from the beginning that it can always change. Like that court date can be changed. I didn't think it would be this late in the game that would happen, but here we are. Yep. Date has moved a week, and all of our plans have got to move a week. So we're currently reaching out to the venue, reaching out to whoever it is that we've been in contact with, and asking, hey, is this gonna dampen like our plans at all? Are we going to be able to move or either move the venue or move the date? They did say, when we let them know the nature of why we were going to be asking to have that venue for the seminar, we did mention at the beginning that, hey, there's a possibility that this could change. They said, hey, no problem, as long as there's no other booking, like, it should be fine. So we're still working on that. I got to reach out to all the people that said they could come speak at the seminar. I mean, it's Halloween, so anyone that's a parent or like that's a thing. It's my favorite holiday, so I'm actually a little stoked, because I love Halloween, and getting to spend Halloween in New York is, I think, going to be a grand old time. But could mean that a person or two who were going to speak at the seminar may not be able to. We'll see. So it's just, everything's kind of up in the air. We will be announcing and letting you all know what's up with that as soon as we know. So within the next, I would say 24 to 48 hours, hopefully. What is it? It is Friday? It's Friday. So hopefully by the end of the day, we do know, and we have answers for everyone. And I mean, most of this stuff is like service industry, so I can't imagine anything we would need to do would be closed tomorrow. So should be able to get some answers for everybody. Worst case, if you did already book a ticket and you're unable to make it at this point, just let us know. Reach out to Kaylin, myself, or RG, and we'll get you squared away. So we're just gonna keep on keeping on. And we're gonna do basically the same thing just a week later. So hoping more people can come. Maybe more people can come out. Who knows? Maybe it's a whole different, ball game at this point. So
hey, you look great, man. You look refreshed. You look great. So that's good.
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stop it, Marco.
The four of you all look the same. Same old. But
no, I feel great. I'm feeling really good these days.
That's
just
good.
taking care of myself and getting things done. And then just real quick, I don't know how many questions you've got, but a big reason that I'm here is to talk about.
Yeah. I was gonna say, just tell us all about it. We're doing the community news stuff now, so you're touching on the court date being moved. So anybody that has not been informed already, that doesn't follow for whatever reason Richard Hart's Twitter account, the court date got bumped back 1 week from the 24th of October to the 31st. So that was like some breaking news. Maybe I'll put a scroll at the bottom there. And that, of course, affects the PulseChain tour events that was also scheduled for that week. So as SJ was saying, that got moved back a little bit. And there's plenty of news in PulseChain Tourland. What else you got?
Yeah. So over the course of the last 2 years, right, doing what we've done now, look, like there was the KSB tour that happened during the bull market, right? Like our tour went on for 2 years in the bear market. And I know that there was a lot that we learned over these 2 years in terms of outreach, marketing, like how to get different eyes on coming into meetings like this. And at the end of the day, we decided that moving forward, what we really want to do and focus on is one large event a year, maybe two. Like we're toying around with the idea of doing something for the Hex birthday, not this year, but who knows, maybe next year. But absolutely, as we move forward as a team, the PulseChain Tour team, right? That's RG, myself, and Kaylin. We decided that we want to look into the idea, this statement that RG said so many times, to fill stadiums. And in order to do that, I think we need to move this kind of event into a larger, grander scale and a bigger idea, right? So the Pulse 369 conference is happening March 6th through the 9th. So 369. And that's going to be in Las Vegas this year. And who knows the year after that, right? Like that. And that's going to be our main focus, is really excelling at making one event amazing. Kaylin and I have attended a few other events just to kind of see how they put things together, what their event space looks like, where their VIP section is. So we've, again, in conjunction with that and having hosted all these events the last couple years, we've really learned a lot. And I am really excited for what is coming in March, and just the heightened, like, it's going to be a little like more classy, a little more, there's going to be more events going on. We're hoping to have more, what's a good way to put this? More visual, like a sponsor, like places where sponsors can be seen, right? So anyone in the community, you've got a project, you got something, and you want to have a table or a booth or something like that. That's going to be a big part of this as well. And another thing that worked really well in the past that Kaylin put together was that the golf tournament. So that was a couple years ago. She did that out in Vegas, and we're going to go ahead and do that again. So that's going to be the last day. I think that's the 9th. Is the Pulse Masters golf tournament. So there's just really a lot to look forward to. PulseChainTour.com is where all of that information is. And you missed it. Y'all ain't early birds any longer. There was an early bird discount of 36.9%. That ended September 15th.
But surely there has to be just one more second chance.
Not at that amount off, but
right.
There are codes floating around. I know that different influencers have different codes. So if you're an Axis fan, maybe reach out to that group. RG3 is a code that you can use, and you can now have 20% off. That's until October 20th, something like that. Like, I know it's like the next month. And then after that month, it's going to go down to, I think, 15%. So, we're just trying to encourage people. Get your tickets early. This is an event that within our power won't be moved. Date won't be changed. Like, this is set in stone for us. So, that's what we are hoping to do. And if you are a project and you want to have one of those booths, you want to have more eyes on your project, reach out again to myself, RG, or myself or Black Hexican, Kaylin, Crypto Culture. She goes by many names, but she does an amazing job at what she does. So reach out to her or I, and we'll get you set up. That's also on the website. There's a whole bunch of information about the different sponsorship packages and all the different levels and things like that. So let me see. That's about it. I mean, that's the big announcement, right? Is we saw what worked, we saw what didn't work, and we want to move forward and do something on a grander scale at this point.
And who knows, hopefully we could have some sort of legal resolution and clarity by then as well. Or perhaps even in January when, the start the new year off right. We'll see. We'll see.
Take that long.
We'll see.
I know we're not going to know right away, but
No.
like, man, I'm hoping within like a month. But yeah, if we have to wait till January. Oof.
Well, I'll throw it over to Marco, who is way over yonder. You actually attended the initial hearing, and I know you maybe were on a Telegram chat or Twitter space, something like that. I know a lot of people probably missed it, but could you maybe give us like a couple minute synopsis of what went down there and anything that you gleaned from it that may not necessarily have been caught by the casual viewer on Twitter?
Yeah, can you hear me? Am I clear?
Hey, man.
All right, cool.
Sound good.
Yeah, so when I went there, man, it was exciting, right? Because the night before I spoke to Nuclear, The lawyer that helps us
Senor
out with
Herbs.
information. Yeah,
Yeah.
Herbs. He's phenomenal guy. Spoke to him. He told me basically what to listen to, like to watch out for, stuff like that. And then once I left the courthouse, I called him right away. And then we had like a good maybe hour conversation. And I tried to like give him everything that was in my head to be able to like break down and analyze, and then give the community the rundown. But yeah, man, what was interesting when I went there was it was about 4 to 5 lawyers of Richard Hearts. It was 2 lawyers of the SEC. And then, of course, the judge was there. I was the only person in the room with them. So, like, me walking in, it was, like, very awkward, right? Because you walk in and then they all turn around to you and they just stare at you for, like, good, 2 minutes. And you're like, you don't say anything. I just sat there and just like, oh, shit. Like, the 2 guys on the right side were probably looking for me to subpoena Hexicans, all that stuff in the past. I'm like, oh, I'm in this room right now with them. Like, it's nerve-wracking, think about it, right?
Right.
But I was like, all right, cool. So I just sat there, just listened to everything. And there was one guy that the gentleman that Richard Hart just recently tweeted about that spoke to Congress. He was doing most of the presenting to the judge about, the defending Richard Hart, breaking down the case, breaking down what he's trying to like represent, what he does represent, etc. And then there was a gentleman named Patrick he looked like the main guy out of all of them. Like, this guy would say what he got to say. The other 2 lawyers would jump into the conversation, and then they will talk to Patrick, and he'll, I guess, have like the final word or something, And he was smooth. Like, you could tell like he was the main guy in the room, and you could tell he knew everything, right? And then when the SEC guys will speak and, I guess try to bring their case, they didn't look confident, man. Like, they stumbled on certain things. They had to go back to their papers all the time, and like the way they was talking, like you could tell certain terminologies. It didn't feel like they were used to saying these type of things. And the RH lawyers, they looked like they were on point. Like they knew what they were talked about, how they, to talk about it. They were quick to try to correct these guys, and they didn't seem scared at all. They didn't seem bullied at all. Oh, you all right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they didn't seem bullied at all. They didn't seem scared at all. They didn't see anything, right? It was just like these guys, they had a plan. You could tell they had a plan, right? And you could tell whenever the SEC guys try to like swindle something or try to like misinterpret something or whatever, they jumped in and they caught it right away, and they're like, no, Your Honor, this is what they really mean is this and this, like, oh, Richard wasn't at that time, or that's incorrect, or whatever it was. So like they were on top of it, and it was, they were waiting for it. Now, to me, the most interesting part, right? I could sit here and talk for like a whole hour every detail, right? But the most interesting part was after the judge left, like after they finished, and the lawyers, they're able to hang around and talk and do whatever they want. They act like friends after it, like after everything's said and done. And Richard Hart lawyers was like bullying the SEC lawyers, like joking with them, like almost like pushing them around, but with words. You understand what I mean? And like you could tell like who was the alpha man and who was like the beta dog there, because instantly once the judge left, the Richard Hart lawyers, they got together, then they approached the other lawyers and like shoulders up, chest up, approached them. And then the guys, the SEC lawyers, hands in the pocket, slouching, like, oh man, we're about to get jumped type of thing, like that type of vibe,
I want to get hired by a law firm one day.
Yeah, dude, it was intense. It was cool. It was a cool intense, and then it was like the SEC guys would try to swindle, ask certain questions, trying to be smart, like off record. And these guys will be like instantly like, you can't ask that question, and the question you're asking is false, right? Like you're not getting one of over on us, and then like they would keep on pressuring them and bullying them, and it was funny. And they kept on telling them, they're like, you have no case here. We're gonna win. Like you have no case, right? Like
did they say that, or like
I swear everything, like no bullshit, right? Like I told everybody how it is, like literally there, right? Like telling them like, and this was Patrick too, the guy I felt like was the leader. He walked to the other, like right in front of the other 2 guys. He goes, fellas, you got nothing here. Like, we're going to win, right? Like, whatever. And then they're like, yeah, but, they're like, you're wasting money and time. They're like, well, that's not my decision. That's more of the higher ups you got to speak to. Like the SEC guy just, just like, like putting the head down type of thing, and they're just like bullying them, like a friendly bullying. Now, what was interesting when they were leaving, one of the guys, Patrick, saw me. So he approached me before I went to the elevator. And he was like, oh, yeah, I noticed you was here for the thing. He's like, are you one of those Hex guys? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I'm a Hexican, blah, blah. I'm here just to see what's going on and just report to the community what's going on before they got to wait a month or 2, whatever, before they find out the real what's happening, And he's like, no, that's great. He's like, you know what I wish you guys could do? I wish you guys would bring more people. You know, it's important to show support, and it's important to show like this matters and not just a bunch of strangers online. You know, when they see people in the courthouse, it shows like these are real humans that you're affecting. These are real people that you're going after, you know? And, you know, it's important for the judge to see, and the lawyers too, to see these people, you know, because these are humans. These are not just numbers and statistics, you know? And I was like, yeah, I'll let the crew know and stuff like that. I'll let the community know. And, you know, the next day, we made the announcement. And one thing I told him, like, so I'm like, how do you feel about this? Like, honestly. And of course, you know, it's just, you know, off record, whatever it is. He goes, look, man, he's like, we got this. We got this. We're going to win this. He's like, we got this. Like, don't you worry about it. He's like, just make sure you bring the pack back. You know, the pack, like, bring people next time. He's like, it's important, you know, to do these things, you know. Then, of course, be representable, you know, don't come sloppy, don't become don't be ghetto and ratchet, all that stuff. And, you know, just be respectful, show that you care, show, you know, if you're an investor or you care about this, or this means something to you, like, you know, show like it's your business, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to show and represent your business, you know? So, yeah, man, it was cool, man. Like, it was cool to see, you know, because to me, I felt like no matter what happened the past year or two or 4 years we've been in Hex, like, I felt like that moment was part of history, right? And I was like, oh shit, I was the only guy in the room to witness that. And it was kind of cool. It was scary, but it was kind of cool, you know? Because years later, I could be like, oh man, I knew this was going to happen. I was there, you know, like, you know, a Hexican was there, like somebody was there to witness it, you know? It's not, we just read it on paper, you know? So the next one, you know, I hope a lot of people showed up, you know, because the last one, you know, over 100 people said they were going to show up. Nobody did, you know? And it felt sad, you know, to see that, you know, because you're excited. Like, I'm like, even me, like, I was super excited. I'm like, oh shit, there's gonna be like about 100 of us showing up and this and that. And, you know, when I went there, I looked around, there was nobody around, you know, just regular lawyers. And oh, by the way, guys, when you go inside, they take everything from you. They take your cell phone, they pat you down for electronics, they take everything from you. So you can't hide, you know, like everybody's telling me like, oh, bring a recorder. You can't do any of that. They're going to find it, right? Like, unless you're a lawyer, you cannot bring anything in there. So just be ahead of that. You know, if you're going to bring something, you cannot, right? So when I went inside, I just expected like to see people and nobody showed up. And so I really hope like if people are going to claim on Twitter, they're going to show up, please show up, because it does matter. Like they even recommended to do it. Like it really helps, you know? So if you're going to show up, show up.
Yeah. I think we might, with that in mind, we might have to redo that invitation, right? Because we had an RSVP just for the court date, right? This is not a paid event. This is just, hey, like, are you going to show up? And we had 180 people around that.
Like last time, yeah,
say that they were going to. So
nobody did. So
hopefully, you know, the word has gotten out more this time, and you know, maybe we'll send out another one, you know, to say, hey, look, do not RSVP if you are not coming, because not only, you know, to Marco's point, does it matter in terms of the way things look, but we've been speaking with that team and they're interested in possibly speaking at that seminar, kind of depending on, hey, like, are there going to be people from other countries? Like, how many of you are going to show up? Like, is it going to be worth our time to come and speak to your community? Are you guys going to show up in mass like that? So be sure that if you're saying you're showing up, you're showing up.
Yeah. And did we not get a bigger courtroom inside the courthouse?
This one didn't seem that big. If I'm not mistaken, it was like about, if I remember, about 2 rows to the left, 2 rows to the right, and that's really about it. Like maybe it looked like maybe a good 30 people could have fit there, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I thought I heard somewhere like that we could get a bigger.
Oh, then probably, yeah. The second time around, yeah.
What I heard was that depending on, you know, that RSVP number and they kind of need some kind of tangible, like, hey, like these are the people that are going to show up, because what they can do is, even if the courtroom isn't big enough, they will be able to set up an overflow room that has a video feed. So if you can't
next door,
live, they'll have another room that they're going to post that in. But
just how cool would that be to need more people for an overflow room, and then maybe even overflow the overflow room? That speaks volumes as to what Marco was saying. Yeah.
And one thing I want to jump to. So like SJ just said, please guys, if you're going to go online and say you're going to go, because what happens is if we see like 100 people all tweeting they're gonna go and stuff like that, some people that really wanted to go might be like, it's gonna be too crowded, I might as well not go, and then nobody shows up, you know. So if you're gonna do it, please do it, because you know, some other people might want to go and you could help, you know, you might change their mind, you know, with the numbers and the crowdness. So please just, you know, think about that, you know. It's exciting, man. It's really, really cool. It's just like, I don't know, to explain, like, just to be there, see, like, oh my God, this could be one of the biggest cases ever for crypto, right? Like, could really change so many things. And just to be in that room, like, I recommend, if you could go, right? It goes to show you, like, everything you fight for, everything you talked about, everything you studied, everything we talked about for the past 3 years. I'm watching Richard Hart videos, and he spoke for hours and hours and hours of, you know, freedom of speech and the SEC and all this other stuff. And then to finally see it live in person, you know, like, that's, to me, that's, excuse my language, that's fucking dope, you know? So do it, you know?
Yeah.
Yep. And to real quick answer, I see the Mango Junkie asking on the 31st, what time does the hearing start? The time for the other one was 9 a.m.
Yes,
so
early in the morning.
I would imagine it's going to stay the same. I believe that would be the same time.
Yeah, get there super early. Expect there to just be waiting. It happens.
Yep.
It's New York. It's a lot of cases. Trust me.
Yes. All right. Well, we've taken the legal out of the way. That's usually the most boring part of the program. But I know Rags.
It's important to know, you know. It's important to know.
Yeah, it is. It's cool. I mean, I didn't even really ask you on, you know, for this legal stuff, but it just so happens that you were the one guy there. And yes, SJ, you have your hand up.
I just reviewed the message about this change, and it is actually at 2 p.m.
Okay.
2 p.m. The court date, you mean?
Yeah, it's October 31st at 2 p.m. is now.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Okay.
Time and date.
Yeah, I thought it was 2 p.m. on the 24th initially.
We had it as at 9 a.m. So I don't know if we just maybe were misinformed, or we were just trying to get people to show up early.
It was just the pregame.
Yeah, try to get there at least minimum like by 12 or something, you know, if you can.
Yeah, at least.
A lot happens. Changes happen, room changes, a lot happens, you know.
We'll find a coffee shop, we'll go hang out, get some breakfast.
There's like a nice little park in the middle, like right in front of the building, that everybody could just relax, sit down, or whatever, you know, walk around and stuff. So something like that. Yeah.
Fill it up like a little pop-up concert venue.
Yeah.
What are all these people here for? Oh, you know. But yes, indeed. All right. So now we have the legal out of the way, and you have a fan there, Rags. So good for you, sir. But yeah, as I was saying, Marco, just so happens that you were on here. The court date got moved literally hours ago, and it's cool that you were there and you can speak on it. And you know, SJ and crew and Kaylin and RG are planning a community event there. And yeah, man, I'm going to try to go. I know a lot of people say that they're going. So
yeah, a couple of people contact me, ask me a couple of questions like, what's the best way to go? You know, this and that, and how they should dress, what's the environment like, and so you know,
it's getting in and out of the city that's the pain to me.
Yeah, expect traffic on the train or in the streets and stuff, but you'll be fine. Just try to get there at least 2 hours before, and you won't run into any issues. You know, at least.
I mean, if I'm going for the week because I love New York, and I'll just do all the touristy things and eat all the things and drink all the things. Ooh. So yeah. But
hell out your girl. I like eating all the things too.
There you go. All right. Do a pizza tour. One of those Dave Portnoy
reviews. We should do like a part 2 review, right? Go back to the same spot.
Yeah,
do that and react the Bitcoin between him and the other dude, Dave.
Yeah.
We should do one of those.
That was hilarious. We had that on the show. Like the
hey guys, look at Hex. Look where it's at. You know, and then do the whole thing. It'd be so funny.
Yeah, you don't want to show him Hex right now. He'd be like, man, I would have gotten wrecked.
And no, you do actually want to show him now, right? He has a chance to ride the wave going back up.
Oh,
so
that's true.
You do want to tell him now.
Because you explain to him why you're there, and you know, if there is victory, there could be even more X's in the future. So.
Exactly.
Yes,
it's Halloween. Oh, it's tough, right? Like,
yeah.
I know my kids, and you know what's funny? All my kids wanted to dress like Deadpool this year, like the whole family. You know, so you know, I'm like, I gotta probably do it like super early in the morning for them. They're probably gonna skip school. I'm not sure yet.
Cute.
And then I'll do it. So.
I will absolutely crack up if I see a Deadpool crawling behind you on this stream.
Yeah, remember that?
For those who don't get the joke, Marco was on another stream, I guess, a couple weeks ago, and
like 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Lo and behold, Mrs. Marco thought she was out of frame and was caught crawling.
She was like literally crawling on the floor, avoiding
the camera in the background, and he's like, You know they can see you, right?
Yeah, it was like the Mission Impossible thing. I'm like, I was looking at the screen. I was like, wait, what's happening? I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, babe, you know they can see you, right? Like, you know, like that, like, what? You're freaking out, like, yeah, they can see you. You're live. She's like, yeah, you should see like going back. It was so funny, man. Funny. So cute. It was so funny.
Those impromptus are great moments. So what else have we had this week? Rags, I want to come down to you, good sir. And Harvey Diaz asked, bro, what's up? Well, I'll tell Rags what is up with a question. The old Federal Reserve cut by 50 points. I was kind of thinking they were going to be, kind of casual about it and go 25. Yeah, but they did go 50. And what's good about this is, like, I think the best way to explain it, because everybody's like, oh, well, when the Fed cuts rates, that marks, things turning around. Well, that's usually in a recession. That's when they have to cut rates. This is one of the rare instances where they cut because they could. And there's a huge difference between cutting because they can or cutting because they absolutely have to. This is cutting because they can. And I have a cool chart to show later. Remind me to do that. But I'd like to get your take on that, Rags, and what it could possibly mean for the general crypto landscape.
So got a little group that meets every Wednesday night. It's not a paid group. We've been doing it for a while now. And we've been following this. And I said 2024, there was probably about 3 landmines. The last landmine of 2024 is this rate cut. Okay. So we got to get past this to really have the bull run kick in. Now, why is this a problem? You look back in the past with rate cuts, doesn't happen every time, but there have been instances in the late 80s, in the 90s, 2000, 2007, where, rate cuts, especially heavy rate cuts, right after that, you had significant losses in the stock market. I would say on average, probably 90 days, it's going to show its ugly head, right? So this is the last thing that, like, I'm hopeful September is the perfect time. 12 to 18 months after the halvening is when things really start to kick up, specifically around 12 months. And we're just in that pocket right now. Liquidity starting to pour in, but there's issues that happen when you cut rates. So one of the issues is money becomes cheaper. And when money becomes cheaper, you're going to see the DXY chart, the dollar index chart. You're going to see that decrease in value. So then what's the problem with that? Well, if you've got debt, or you've got mortgages, or you have credit card debt, companies can have a hard time struggling if the dollar that you're giving in to service that debt for them to make money is actually decreasing. Can create little mini bubbles, and they can pop sometimes. And there's a couple other things to consider with that. But all in all, how does this pertain to crypto? This is a completely different environment, I think, than 2007, specifically in that we've got institutions that are buying up Bitcoin and Ethereum like mad people. I look at the net inflows for Bitcoin and Ethereum every other day here, and they're buying tremendous amounts. So every single time people capitulate and there's a liquidation event and people get wiped out because they're unleveraged, guess who's there picking up the pieces? Same guys have been doing it the whole time. Big institutions, they're gobbling up this crypto, this cheap crypto, every chance they can get. They're not stopping. So in my mind, we follow the whales. Worst case scenario, if there is some sort of a crash, like let's say 15 to 50%, I know that's a wide range, but it's gone down that far before, probably take about 6 to 9 months to recover. So I think worst case scenario, we would be in sideways or down for another 6 to 9 months if that were to happen. Hopefully it doesn't. I think that it was 50 basis points because of all the pressure politically. We've got a presidential election coming up. It's very difficult, or more difficult, to get votes for a party that's trying to get the presidency back if the economy is in bad shape. The two things they can do with that is make money cheap with the Federal Reserve, and they can also decrease the price of oil, because if oil's cheap, then the whole economy starts buzzing. So that's my take on it.
There you go. And taking for a little bit of what you were talking about and what I kind of introduced it with earlier, I wanted to pull up this tweet by one of the guys I follow so many people on Twitter, but he's on my short list of chartists. His name's Ryan Dietrich. And he put this out there yesterday, if I can bring it up here. Let's see. Here we go. So, really good graphic here, and I'll just blow it up. Here are the 20 times the Fed cut rates when the S&P 500 was within 2% of an all-time high based on the day before the cut. Higher a year later, all 20 times, and up almost 14% on average. Yesterday, which was Wednesday, was the 21st time. And there's that chart. So 20 out of 20, going for 21 out of 21.
Right. So short-lived, 6 to 9 months typically, and then you get back to where you were. So if you can survive the initial freak out, you'll be fine. Take advantage of it.
Yes, sir. So that's that. What else? Any thoughts there, Big K? I know you don't really do macro. We got plenty of other topics, but election stuff. What are people saying or thinking down your way?
In Puerto Rico?
Yeah,
we don't. That's somebody's gonna, so one way or another, someone's gonna toss us some paper towels. It's all good. It's
because your last election down there was like pretty darn close, was it not?
Oh, like the gubernatorial election. Yeah. We've had some. There's. So I mean, and they really don't like the last, not this past one, but the previous governor was like, nearly ousted too. So it was can be. I mean, and the things that they have done have kind of sucked too. So it's like the last cycle they privatized our electrical grid, which, like, the public electric grid was awful, but go figure, the private one is even worse. So. So it's that's tough. So like that's that. But our electives, like, that's all as far as presidential stuff goes. We're pretty apart from all the. I mean, people aren't really paying attention to that much here.
Yeah, I know, like, continents like Europe and countries, Australia do have they have no problem sharing their views from afar.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So,
I mean, I'm sure people have views and stuff, but but it's it's not like statehood is on any kind of referendum or anything like that, so nobody really is talking to us that much about it all. But but it sounds exciting.
That's right. Well, we will know in less than 2 months. That's for sure. I guess a little politics. Marco, you are in what is known as quite the blue state.
Yep.
But you've also chimed in, on different streams. I've listened, and it's like, what? There are a lot of people in blue states that are just tired of being taken advantage of, basically. And it's not just the wealthy class or anything like that. It's the people that say a lot of illegal migrants are affecting, and they're tired of it too. So is that still the case up there? I imagine it kind of got pretty better.
What they don't show you on TV, I promise you they don't show you, is that literally every other day or once a week, there's always protests on the bridges, on the roads, in the cities. And these are Republicans. These are people, they want Trump so bad. And this never has happened in New York City, right? It's mostly blue and Democratic and all that stuff. But from the Bronx to the Queens to Staten Island, Long Island, they had a huge rally just what was it, yesterday, day before?
2 days ago, yep.
Freaking, oh my God, the roads days before and even after was just nonstop traffic everywhere. And, New York City is just traffic regardless. But there's like security everywhere. And like, it was huge, man. People on the streets with signs in the city. Because you know what it is? On the low, they trying to put a lot of migrant centers, and especially in Manhattan, right? And the people are tired of it, right? Like, they're noticing like they're getting flooded and they're getting all these benefits from cash every month, and like food stamps and all these other benefits. It's like, like the people are already suffering around the city, and you have like 20, 30, 40,000 people just coming like nonstop. Like, it's crazy, right? So yeah, man, the boroughs, they're tired of it. So the TV, they will not show you that. The news, they will not show it. But everybody's going crazy for Trump, that I know, that I see in the streets and stuff like that. Like, and the Spanish and Black folks, like, they're showing it. They're showing it, and they're showing it hard. They're the first ones to show up. Instead of the Caucasians or the people who usually vote for Trump. Like, everybody's coming in. It's a big mix, so it's beautiful to see. Pretty cool.
Rags to riches, the hope would be for the red side that they could flip New York. I think that's a bit far-fetched, but you never know. Yeah. Especially with like real votes and whatnot and shenanigans out the window. What say you for like a southern state below like a Maryland or something? Because like there are Republican governors in some of these states, but some of them also vote blue for the president.
There's a really good political tactic that, let's say, our blue folks use here.
Abortion, and that's it.
Yeah, well, there's that too. So
that's literally, like, I'm not like trying to make light of. That's all the ads say that I see, and I, when I'm around DC, any attack ad on anybody red is abortion or their extremist MAGA. That is crazy. There's no policy.
No, it's wild to me that's even an issue. Like, you're gonna stand up your whole marketing campaign on taking the life of a human fetus. I'm gonna say human. I'm not gonna apologize about it. But what they do, there's two things that these guys do. Let's take Virginia, for example. Virginia was a red state for a long time, but then what happened? The universities, who got tons and tons of funding, started putting tons and tons of marketing in, and they started snatching up students into these indoctrination centers. Now these little tiny cities that had community colleges and small universities, now they've grown out. Those students graduate and they set roots in these areas. And what you have is, all across the country, you have these seeding events where people of different political ideologies are kind of seeded all around the country. So that grows out. And then the second thing is, you have the Beltway, for example. You have all those people that are, migrating to Washington, and you're really close to the inflation. You're really close to the money. You're close to the unions. You're close to the contractors to get all those big jobs from taxpayer dollars to build out infrastructure. And it's starting to look like, you drive into certain parts of DC. I remember 20 years ago when I was in Dubai, and I just saw skyscrapers and infrastructure for miles and miles and miles. And I'm just driving down the Beltway and I'm thinking, wow, look at all of our tax dollars. Okay, we paid for all this, and it's just like through proxy. So what's happening here is the federal government takes seed in these cities. There's special kickbacks. There's massive amounts of corruption, taxpayer dollars, massive abuse of funds, and it's redistributed to the people that rally around that political ideology, and they take footholds in places that have typically been like a red state, for example. And that's really difficult. But I will say something that was very interesting. I heard on the radio today, or yesterday, maybe a couple days ago, one of the biggest unions in the Northeast decided that they were not going to endorse a candidate.
Yep.
When they had endorsed, was it the Teamsters Union? Was that what it was? And they had endorsed a Democratic candidate for 20 years prior, and this year they're not going to. Now, that's huge. That says a lot. Okay.
And by the margin that it was, because they released some internal polling or voting, and it was like not even close, like 58 to 34 or something. So it was pretty, it was a wide margin.
Yeah. And one thing that I've also learned from previous cycles is not to listen to the media about the polls at all, because it's all lies. They want to like get in people's heads and disincentivize them and make them think it's not worth it to show up to the polls.
Yep.
Guys, do you guys remember when they said that Hillary Clinton was going to,
what about 76% or some shit like that? Yeah.
And then it kept shrinking and kept shrinking and kept shrinking. And then he won. And this is the same situation that we have here, guys. They are trying their best to keep, I think, the blue candidate out of the spotlight so she doesn't shoot herself in the foot. It's probably a bad thing to say right now, shooting anybody, but they want to keep her out so they can keep the numbers high. So I think that people like Marco, who actually are in the cities and see this stuff firsthand, they're the people that we need to listen to, because they're seeing it with their own eyes. And at this point, the media is just a propagandist arm of the government. I think we should have stopped watching them 25 years ago. Yeah. Now people are waking up.
Yeah. It's really a marketing campaign from the blue side. That is all it is.
Wasn't it amazing that during that debate, they didn't ask Kamala about the assassination attempt on Donald Trump's life one time?
Right.
They didn't say nothing, but they sure did.
They stopped him,
Yeah. And they sure did talk about like January 6th stuff, and threw that in his face, but they didn't say anything about him getting shot in the friggin' almost in the head, almost pink misted Donald Trump. They didn't say anything. They don't want to.
Well, we've had takes from here on the East Coast. Let's get a take from somebody who's traveled this country and who sees a lot of crypto mines all around. She might not want to talk politics necessarily with all these wonderful people that she's meeting all around, but what are you hearing and seeing from the tour stops that you're at across the country? Is the election like a super important issue to the crypto communities that you're interacting with, SJ?
So the one thing that stood out to me, because the tour this year was more Europe, right, than anywhere else. And so last year it wasn't really mentioned much. I mean, people were excited and happy that, Trump was someone who seems to be a proponent for crypto and, wants to make things happen and is talking about it. In Europe, it was less about the parties and the political ramifications of, what the vote is going to do, and more just about the drama, and like, oh, silly America, and oh, look at these people on your television and what's going on with all this, hoop-de-doop. Like, it's a lot less serious, I think, overseas. Like, people just don't see it as it's like a show. It's like the America show. That was the feeling that I got, was just, oh, what are those silly Americans doing over there, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I can understand that too, and I think we kind of see Europe through the same lens sometimes as well. So it's every now and then you can dive into statistics of elections after the fact, but politics is politics no matter what country or continent that you're on. So yeah. What else we have on the old docket here? We did a little charting and whatnot. Marco, how long you got, man?
I'm here, bro. I'm not really in a rush at all.
All right, we got a couple topics that might get a little fun.
Cool.
Let's Rags, I did ask you, because you had posted a tweet with plenty of Inspector Gadget work and chain analyzing data.
Yeah.
For the thing that is quite controversial and polarizing, but I brought it up. I wanted to bring it up this stream because of your tweets, and you actually like did the work or had access to the work, you can tell me, where it came from or whatever behind it, that, for the casual observer, it'd be like, hey, this doesn't deserve to just be laughed at and scoffed at and thrown away within 5 seconds. Maybe I'll actually look at this for 30 seconds. But what are your thoughts on this pDAI thing? Because any casual observer, including myself, I've scoffed at it, and I'm just like, okay, just stop. Things that you can't peg a coin on hope, yada yada, and all the other fun little jabs and barbs. But you tell us, just I guess a quick synopsis, so we don't get too far in the weeds and lose a bunch of people in those weeds. Your findings of the pDAI, I guess, origin. I don't even know how to explain it. You can do that.
Yeah. So the pDAI conversation has been highly controversial in this community.
A little bit.
Now, I think that there's reasons behind this, because when I look at it, I'm looking at data and I'm observing what's happening. Okay. I can come to my own conclusions, which are opinions, because ultimately I'm not in charge of these wallets. It's moving stuff around and interacting with these contracts. Yeah. But I can look at it and just say, hey, there's data here. I can observe it and talk about it. Now, how come when I start talking about it, how come there is suppression efforts? In my estimation, and I could be completely wrong, again, my opinion, but knowing human nature, there's suppression efforts because it could scare some people who also have stablecoin endeavors on this chain. That's a completely normal feeling to have. Okay. So that I want to say that first and foremost. So what I did was create an article. I did research, and then also you guys can follow this gentleman. It's at the letter D and then centralize me. I can go through these points real quick, and most people it's going to go in one ear and out the other. It'll be fast though. And the reason I'm doing it is to say that, hey, there's something here. You guys got to know it. And I don't know the purpose, but here we go. So at the very beginning, there was an initial funds transfer. Right after PulseChain launched, this wallet received 70 ETH through Tornado Cash. And then 9 hours later, this 9E6F wallet buys $320,000 worth of pAI. So that's the Aave that was system state copy. It was forked over to PulseChain, for lack of a better term here. Shortly after that purchase, that same wallet creates a proposal using pAI and the votes that it gets through having that. It pushes through its own proposal to take control of all the vaults. This is what happened right after. All right. 4 days later, that same wallet starts rating the contents of all the vaults that are actually active that got copied over. And they're transferring pAI, they're transferring pLink, they're transferring PWBTC, burrrn, Uni, and pMaker back to itself, its own wallet. 2 days before the takeover of pAI, another wallet sets up liquidity provision for the tokens rated from pAI. With those rated assets, 9E6F again added 2,000 wrapped BTC to PulseX, followed by an addition of 41,000 wrapped Bitcoin. 41,000. Who do you guys know out there that has access to 41,000 copied over wrapped Bitcoin? I don't know many people. I know purportedly maybe Richard Hart has 41,000 wrapped Bitcoin. Could be. And then there's other people. Obviously, this is the blockchain. We don't know whose wallets these are. But that's big. And we keep going down the rabbit hole here. On the day of the raid, that 9E6F wallet creates and approves a proposal with the stolen pMaker pausing the governance mechanism for a set period. It implements several governance changes, including freezing the minting of pDAI at 22 billion pDAI. So it stopped the minting of pDAI at that point, which was also very interesting. And guys, I could keep going. You guys can check it out in articles here. All I'm saying here is there is somebody that seems to know what they're doing very well. And there are also new developments that you can check out on that guy's page. There's something happening here. People are experimenting. People are collateralizing these vaults with P copies right now. You have massive amounts of WETH that are coming over the bridge that are, sitting in these wallets ready to be deployed. What's going to happen here? I don't know, but it sure would be cool to have a stable coin on PulseChain that wasn't connected to USDC or USDT. USDC is collateralized primarily by T-bills. They get, short-term loans from the Treasury, or, every 3 months they're making billions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars off yield. So that's all connected to the old system. Maybe this wouldn't be. How does it peg? I don't know. How does it peg? How does it collateralize? Where are we going to get the money? Maybe that's why Richard owed 90% of all the supply of PulseX, Hex, and PulseChain, because he's going to use those to collateralize these vaults. He's going to change the governance. I don't know. I'm observing. I'm drawing little opinions that mean nothing because I'm not the person pulling the strings. But you got to be straight up stupid at this point to think that there's not something that it's at least going on. And maybe it's just practice for starting their own thing. That I actually think that's pretty likely in my mind. Maybe they're practicing, seeing how everything works. So yeah, that's that.
But something is happening there, and you can see it. And
yes,
no one knows factually what it is about, but it's not. It's more than just a crazy brain harebrained theory,
right?
At this point, it's a possibility, not I don't think it should be just immediately dismissed as I once did. Like, you can at least take a look at it and be like, huh, maybe there is even if it's just like a 5% chance in your mind, maybe more. It is very, very interesting as to, you put all those analyzation points together and back to back to back and follow it. It's pretty wild. So.
Yeah. So it's part of a story. I don't know what part of the story it is.
Or
I don't
what
know
story
how the story's going to end or what story, but it's part of a story, somebody's story.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. And it's on chain, so you can read it,
all of it,
and develop your own conclusions. And some people have, and some people are putting some money behind it, making some bets on it. And
yeah, in that article on my Twitter, you guys can. There's a video that outlines everything too, and just look at it. Just look at it. It's not made up. So, yeah.
And that is at Brandon Davis R2R.
At Brandon Davis R2R. Yeah, that's right.
On the X. So, well, cool. Well, thank you for that explanation. And it was quick, concise, and we didn't lose anybody. So
no, we didn't.
And we can move on.
Good stuff.
All right. Well, I wanted to bring my man Marco on, because he's been all over the place lately in a good way on, different streams, and, he's all over Twitter. He's a big part of, I'd say, 2 major communities. I'm not afraid to say it. You're a proud member of the Titan X community. And
yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
I'm also an investor, and I'm, that's not what this channel is about. So I tend not to, talk about it directly here, because that's not the audience that we've built here. Now, perhaps I can, do it on another channel, and, if you want to find that, and, there are no videos exist, but I'm just saying one day, maybe I'll talk about traditional finance and stuff elsewhere. But, I've been listening to some of your streams. We've talked, outside of Twitter and streams and whatnot, and you've brought up some really, I think, really good points, and it just has to deal with like community and your experience seeing the community, say, of a Titan X start from the ground up, because what is that, like, it's not even a year old, is that right?
Just hit like 320 something days, something like that.
Yeah. And Hex is a great product. You are
phenomenal,
an investor. You are a full-fledged supporter of it, as am I and everyone here. But I think can be constructive to examine maybe some parts of the community building that are going well for others and what we could do better over here.
Yeah.
And you've spoken on that before, and it doesn't mean, oh, this is good, this is better, yours sucks. No, you've never said that, and I don't believe that at all.
Yeah.
But
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that there are things that, this PulseChain community, especially, it's like a blockchain now, so it's not just one coin. This spans, into so many other coins, good, bad.
In simple terms, right? Like people, like we'll talk about it really short. It's really simple, right? Like as you see how advanced Hex was compared to coins out there, right? And how Hexicans, they got together, total strangers, and learned from Richard Hart, and learn about DeFi, learn how it works, and being out there and completely different from regular assets out there. It's the same way. Like people, they look at Titanx folks and be like, oh, these people are dumb, they don't know what they're doing, it's just a coin. No, you have no idea what they're building over there, right? Doesn't mean it's better than PulseChain or Hex, anything like that. No, everybody has their own thing, right? They learned a lot from Richard. They learned a lot from the Hex community. They learned a lot, like how people want to build things and how they build things and how to make things DeFi and all that stuff. And they did so much. And look, this is not an endorsement for anybody to do anything, right? Like you do what the heck you want, right? Everybody's adults, right? But they built something incredible over there that's extremely unique as a community, right? Because the way they did things is really simple. They build one token, and that one token is always going to be the main token, right? And that token itself buys and burns itself, regardless how you get it, what you do, whatever, price doesn't matter, right? But everything they built on top of that, and this is why I wish the PulseChain community could just learn from. You don't have to buy anything they have over there, but you could learn and observe certain things, right? And you could take what you like and dismiss what you don't like, right? Just like how Hex did with everything else, right? Like Hex is basically BTC, but better, right? Like how Richard did it, right? Just he improved his own version of it, right? So these guys, they made Titanx, and then whatever protocols they made in under a year, phenomenal protocols. They all have one goal, and this is the only goal they do, besides whatever they make on top of that, right? Their own tokenomics, is to buy and burn Titanx, right? The main focus, whatever you build, is to buy and burn the original token that started everything. That's it. That's the number one goal. Doesn't matter what you build, how you build, what type of protocol you build. That's the main goal. And they are thriving. Like they're killing it over there, right? Because they're all building sync as one community, right? And PulseChain could do that, right? I'm not saying there aren't protocols that don't do that. There are some that's out there, right? That do that, right? Imagine if all protocols, every single one, regardless of what they built, regardless, it doesn't matter if you're a lending platform, doesn't matter if you're a DEX, doesn't matter if you're a meme. There's always a percentage of whatever's happening inside your code that targets either one or all Richard Hart's tokens and buys and burns it or locks it up, right? If every single protocol does that, we would probably do a 5-10x a long time ago, easy, right? Because regardless if they're successful or not, they still had a major impact on the main token itself, not just being Hart's Law and just being paired to them. They do more than just being paired to them. You understand what I mean? They actually have a real effect towards the main tokens, right? And that's what they do over there, right? Every single thing, every move, transaction, everything affects the main token. Why can't everything going forward? It doesn't have to be. Listen, you can build whatever you want, right? That's the whole freedom of PulseChain. But why not everything going forward that's being built, or maybe potentially could be added on to whatever is built currently, affects, definitely 100% affects either the main token or all 4 or 5 tokens that Richard Hart has, right? It could be done. And I don't see why it cannot be done, you know? That's something that I think should have been built that way before we build all these other protocols that kind of need, like, I don't want to say all these other protocols we built is not needed, but is it really needed now? Because you kind of need hundreds of thousands or millions of users to really use these protocols. Or we could have built things to like really make Hex, PulseChain, Inc. become like super deflationary, super crazy, like buy and burn it all, lock it up, do everything, right? It could have been done earlier. And I do see projects, coming out that's actually doing that. But hopefully going forward, like the community stops fighting amongst each other, hoping each other projects just fail. But that's another thing that we do a lot, right? Like, we build, but then we hope another project fails or another project does this and one falls flat. Like, we're still a community, regardless of what we build with each other, right? Like, you don't want people outside looking in that way because nobody wants to build, and you know, like, why not talk amongst each other? That's one thing that I wish all the builders would do, is talk amongst each other. You can build whatever you want, but work as a team. You know, build as a team. Like, that's one thing I witnessed firsthand was some devs they built on Titan X. They had issues and bugs. Complete competitors showed up, had a meeting with these guys. Like, look, this is what's wrong with your code. Do this and this and this, and you could fix it. Complete competitors of each other, and they make sure, because if one of them makes it, Hart's Law works over there too, and they all end up making it. You know, and they do that. They build against each other, but they all have the common goal of making sure whatever's out there is precise and they work and nobody gets hurt. And that's what I love about their energy over there. You know, and we could learn from that over here too. You know, you don't have to be like them. You don't have to buy anything they have, but you can learn certain things from them. And I think the community could thrive even more by doing that, you know? So that's why I wish people would just stop with the, you know, the gang versus gang talk, or the color versus color talk, or token, like, because I don't care what anybody buys anything, you know, just, you can learn, let's improve. Let's take PulseChain to the next level. Let's take whatever you are into to the next level. You could do that, you know, without the hate and the fighting and the nonsense, you know, it's so silly, man.
You're 100% correct, Marco. And coming from a standpoint of understanding how some of the builders operate, PulseChain is so clicked out and so political right now.
Yeah, it's sad, man. I love PulseChain with all my heart. I love it.
Yeah, and there's just these freaking tribal wars. There's cold wars going on between factions, and I don't want anything to do with it, man. I'm just done with.
Guys, we have like an hour. Sorry to cut you off, but we only have like a year and a half, 2 years to really, really make whatever we're gonna build and make. And we're spending months and days and weeks and tweets. Like, a tweet that you put out there is still your fucking time. It's still your time you're wasting, right? And people do nonstop tweets amongst each other and rumors and this and that, while all those energy and tweets could be reaching out to community or talking amongst other builders to build what you build better, right? Like, we're wasting so much time, and we're not stupid. We're so fucking smart, this community. Guys, I was in this community for fucking 5 years, right? I've been to almost every single event. I met so many people, and to see night and day of the experience and the mindset of how things are is like, guys, we should be way more better than we are now. And don't get me wrong, nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect, right? But man, we could build way better. Like, I swear to God, if you understand, and this is not telling anybody to, once again, to go over there and buy it. Don't buy anything over there. Don't go over there to just go over there just to observe and walk away. That's it. That's what I want you to do. Observe, go, walk away, and that's it. Don't even spend a penny. But you're going to see, if you understand the ecosystem they built in 320 days, it will blow your fucking mind. It will be like, holy shit, and all this does this to this main coin. You're like, yes. And don't take my word for it. Look what's happening, right? Like, if you're not being like a hater, you look at the chart and you cannot deny what's happening. You're like, oh my God, like, this thing just did a hockey stick in all their coins, and it's burning at a tremendous rate. You know, it could be done on our side. It could definitely be done.
Break away, folks. If you're listening to this right now and you're sucked into the drama, break away from the people who are creating
don't waste
it.
time.
Then latch yourself to the people who are actually trying to make PulseChain better.
Yeah, man.
Get out of the suck.
And I'm telling you this right now, right? Hate it or not, right? Just like PulseChain people are coming over there to build certain things because they want to learn. There are people over there that's gonna come to on PulseChain to build, and they're gonna burn as much Hex, PulseX, Inc. They're gonna burn as much as they can, and they're good at it. I'm telling you, these guys are good at building. They're gonna go over there and they're gonna burn it all, and there's nothing you could do about it. You should be happy, and you don't need to participate. But people are gonna burn as much as they can. Just see, like, these people are smart, man.
And that's, you're talking PulseChain coins. And I know what you're talking about.
They're coming over there and they're burning all that stuff. Yeah, just see.
Yeah, and what better time to start, you know, being friendly with other communities that you know could benefit this community than now.
I'm gonna plug this, Cabana.
Yes,
because this is important.
Yep.
I created a company. You see it right here, buildthetech.com. And that's because it's very frightening to find somebody to build something for you, because you talk to 5 people, 4 people got screwed. So if you guys have good ideas, if you want to do something like Marco's talking about with RH tickers, this or that, you can reach out. We can do it. It doesn't have to be a smart contract either. Maybe you got a really cool idea for some sort of like a DEX screener for PulseChain or just something. Okay. You have a way to do it and not be worried about it. And I'm not going to shame you. Nobody's going to shame you here. And we'll get it done for you. And you don't have to be afraid. So Yeah, keep that in mind, guys.
Yeah, I just want to make it super clear, guys. Once again, I'm not telling people to buy anything over there, but you can learn from a lot from each other. And I will say this on record. I hope somebody clips it. When they do come over and they do start burning all the RH tickers, and you're gonna see how fast these people learn to burn shit, right? Mark my words, you're gonna fall in love with these fucking people that you've been mocking all year, you know, for nothing. And you'll see. I promise you that. You're gonna see. And your bag is gonna fucking love it. Whether you like it, you're gonna hate them in person, but behind the scenes, you're gonna be celebrating their names. But they're coming over and they're gonna burn every fucking thing you own. So I'm just letting you know that now. And be happy. It's good. You know?
Yes, it's the good kind of burning everything that you own.
Be happy.
That.
Because I'm gonna make sure they help. I'm gonna help make sure they burn everything down. In a good way. In a good way. You know?
Right. And this takes me back to, I don't know how many months ago, Big K. I mean, you were talking about, it's like, well, and we're just talking about one coin. It was like, well, ink's inflationary. Like, how cool would it be if somebody were to build something that just burned ink?
And they could do it. I'm telling you this right now. So don't be surprised when you start. You're like, guys, let me tell you something. You guys are excited because certain tokenomics we own burns 3%, 1%, 5%. Almost every coin out there in that ecosystem buys and burns like 90%. And they have millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars in a smart contract on the side, building up before ETH explodes, getting ready to buy all the tickers, no matter what the users do. And telling you, Matt, it could be done on PulseChain, and people will come and build over there, and they will buy and burn all the RH tickers as much as they can, and it's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be beautiful. That's what you want. You don't want things extracting from RH tickers, right? Like, it's cool to build something there if you want to build whatever, but if it's just extracting from Richard and stuff like that, then what's the point, right? It's a net negative, you know, it's not a net positive, right?
Well, that's kind of like what we've been dealing with right now is like, you know, we said on the show many times,
and real burns.
Like, it's like, you know, this is Hex is the coolest toy, but PulseChain is the playground, and with the playground, you got a whole bunch of toys or, you know, pieces of equipment, whatever, and some are going to be good, and some are going to be awful, and some are going to be like, and we've had a lot of the awful, and I feel like, you know, it's come to this point right now at this moment in time where it's just a bunch of money sloshing back and forth. And Marco, we talked about this, just between like coins, people chasing the next, you know, fancy thing or shiny thing that they see, and then getting out of that, and then losing their core coins, their Hex, their Ink, their Pulse, their PulseX. And, you know, this money is kind of being burned or sacrificed in the wrong way, because the good users are losing it, chasing after this crazy stuff, to where, you know, we have something that's, you know, more focused to where, man, these coins can actually burn, make your bags, you know, grow in value because there's less supply. You know, that kind of thinking, it works. And trust me, there are a lot of coins, but there are a lot of coins other places too that are getting burned too. So
and these, I'm talking about, these are major, big, real. I'm talking about real burns, major, big burns these guys are doing. So
trust me, with a good time. I'm excited.
And don't get me wrong, like a lot of these guys, nobody knows because they used to be they are Hexicans, right? They just never did YouTube like that and all that stuff, right? But a lot of these guys privately, I seen their transaction, I seen their wallets. These guys are freaking Hexicans day ones, you know? They just never went on the spotlight. They love Richard Hart, they love PulseChain and stuff like that. They just love something else out there too. And they build over there, they tested it, they did it, whatever, and they struck gold the way they build their systems. And they're like, they're dying to come over to PulseChain to do the same thing where they could buy and burn their original bags that are over there, right? Like, these are dolphins, sharks, and whales people that's in Titan X, that's OG Hexicans that will come back and buy and burn as much as they can in the original things, right? Like, so just don't hate what you don't understand, man. That's all I'm saying, people. You don't have to hate what you don't understand. That's it. And you don't have to participate in anything. Just don't, you know, but they're going to burn your bags whether you like it or not. And that's a good thing. That's a great thing, you know?
Or burn everybody else's liquid supply. Don't burn
my
bags, please.
Yeah. Right? Like, why not? If it's taking care of the main tokens, the main tokens, and then, you know, by all means, they're gonna build their own tokenomics and all that stuff, right? How is that bad, right? So.
Absolutely. And you said to clip that, so you know, somebody bring back that clip in like 6 months, maybe.
Yes,
so, I'd love to see it.
And I want that as a good thing, just like as a testament that, like, look, builders are building, man, and they want to build the right way. And guess what, guys? And let me make this super clear, right?
These coins.
Yeah. And let me make this. And there's not attack against people who did sacrifices or donations or whatever for their projects. It is what it is, right? And then people give you the opportunity to do that. Every single thing they have ever built over there, not one sacrifice, not one dime from the community, not anything. They just build with their own money, and they build, and they do 90% burns, right? Like, they barely take anything back. Like, it's beautiful, man. And they're going to do the exact same thing over here. It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
I dig it. Just patience. I know we've had a lot of that, but like, what's another 6 months to see a lot of coins burnt? We've been through well over a year of just true pain. Now, well, years of pain, but
years of pain.
Yeah, but like the SEC thing is what I always reference. But yeah. But are you good, Big K? You have some.
I'm great. I don't know.
Pain relievers over there.
No, I'm fantastic. The pain is handleable. I can handle. Yeah, I'm good. I mean, I can be honest while still stomaching it. But no, it's all good. It's all good.
All right.
Here. I wore the shirt. I'm excited. Let's make this exciting next few months. I would love to see it all happen.
Oh, you know what? I love that's happening is that the coin that a lot of people counted out is doing fucking phenomenal. EHEX is doing phenomenal. It's looking great.
Shout out EHEX.
It's beautiful, man. Like, it's exciting, So, everything looks good. Everything looks like it's recovering. Everything looks like it's bouncing, building. We built extreme good support over the past, 4 or 5 months since the last RH pump. So it's looking really good. It's exciting, man.
So I know we're supposed to dress nice for the court hearing, right? So, I'll be dressed nice, but later, afterwards, or the next day, I'm wearing this.
You can wear them right after you leave the building. Right after.
Just like throw the dress off, have this on underneath.
Show that one more time. I had the chart up.
Yeah, man. You can wear them right after you leave the building, man. And they won't say nothing.
I'm excited.
Shit, I will rock that.
So I was just looking at that EHEX chart.
Look at that, man. So pretty.
Kind of above the late April levels. Testing those there. So that's cool. And what about the old pHex approaching an eighth of a penny once again?
Yeah, it's almost a penny. We
are coming back on that one nicely. I got so many charts open. I'm just trying to find them all. So
your chance under a penny again, people.
There you go. Testing that the underside of the former support. We were talking on this on Mr. GG Cryptomatics What the Hex show yesterday. But another thing that I pointed out over there is so if you look at this chart, like we kind of dip below. This is Hex Pulse or pHex. We dip below the old lows back here, and now we're coming up to face those. And the pulse, the pulse chart doesn't look much better, but look at this ink chart that I'm going to pull up here. So keep this one in mind. That
you do the multi chart too if you wanted to show all of them at the same time.
Yeah, I got that on another window, but no, those charts are up there. But yeah, look at the ink chart and look at what it did. It never got down to those levels, and it bottomed way above. So
that's change it versus Pulse instead of USD.
Yeah, on the right,
top right.
Yeah.
It says USD PLS in the middle of the screen next to full.
Yep, click that. Yep, that's better. That shows you a better view. Yeah.
Zoom out a little bit.
Keywords there. Zoom out.
Zoom out.
Log, right?
Log. But yeah.
It's gaining
I mean,
traction.
for
man.
an inflationary coin, I mean, Ink. My main point was like Ink is like not doing bad at all, and everybody's like, "Oh, inflationary coin's bad. Inflationary coin's bad." Well, what happens when they become less inflationary, which could happen with Ink, not just because of like burning or anything like that.
Yeah.
But what if there are things to also burn those coins?
And it's not hard to do. I remember before PulseChain came out, there was like 3 people that was like bullish on Twitter regarding Ink. It was me, Katie, and Hexo. And we had a thread and we was talking about it. And we were talking about like, yeah, it could be 100 to 1,000. And people were like, oh, you're fucking crazy. It's gonna be the death coin, all this other stuff. And look at it now. It's doing great. It could definitely hit these numbers, you know. Over time, it can, but you know, it has potential, man. Like you said, somebody just burns it or locks it up a certain way. Aggressively too. I'm talking about like really aggressive. It could do wonders, man.
Oh, not just like a little candle, but like a inferno for, is that a Freudian slip? But anyway, Rags got it. So yeah, I think that's about been here close to an hour and a half. This is good first show back, season 5.
Yeah.
How's everybody feeling out there?
It's good to see you guys, man. You guys look refreshed. You guys look happy. You know, you guys look like, you know, you're ready to have fun again. You know, and that's what I want to see in people's faces and eyes, right? It's just people that look like they're ready to have fun again. I miss the fun days. You know, I miss the daily stream, the weekly streams. We jump on, we just laugh. We watch a Richard Hart stream. We just like bugged out. I remember back then when Richard Hart would announce he's gonna stream, we all freaking left our families, ran to the computer or YouTubes, and
we left our families.
And you know, everybody knew it was like holy Richard night and night. You know, leave us alone and lock me in my dungeon. And you know, I miss those type of times. And you know, we'll get those times. You know, when he kicks the SEC ass. Trust me, he will, because their lawyers look phenomenal in person. But yeah, it's gonna be great. You know, and trust me, when people start seeing their values and their portfolios start going up. Trust me, they be focusing, taking on the screenshots once again instead of fighting. But I think that's why nobody fought. Everybody was taking screenshots of the SECRH app. Like, look how much I made. Look how much I'm making. Look how much I'm making. Every freaking second, you look at your phone. You have like 300 screenshots in 2 days. It just kept on moving every second. You know, so I remember those days. You know,
I think I agree with you. I feel like there might be more of those around the corner.
Yeah, sir.
I'm looking forward to them.
Yeah. Just letting you know, the first twerk I see, I'm out, man. I'm out again. I'm leaving. This time I'm leaving. First twerk, I'm out. Nah, I miss Richard, man. You know, look, no bullshit, man. This is always right next to me every day. You know, remember that old school? You know,
yeah,
man. You know, so you know, it'll be good to hear his voice. Yeah, it'll be good to hear his voice with no restraints, no muzzle, no anything, and he could just join any stream he wants, any spaces he wants again, anything. Like he could be free. Free Richard was free. It was fun, Richard. You know, I don't like this robotic Richard. I understand why he has to be like that, but it sucks because I know my man wants to say a lot to the world and he can't, and that sucks. You know,
I like
free
Christmas
Richard. You know,
I want to see Christmas Richard.
Yeah, free. Yeah, I'm not talking about like outrageous marketing, like going crazy. I'm talking about just you know Richard that we just jumped on, just talked about. We just wanted to teach about crypto, and you know, of course, he threw little jabs here and there about people and welcome debates and all that stuff. Just him just being himself. I miss that, you know.
Yeah.
So
yeah, himself is still the in your face confrontational person, but
we need that.
I could do without the here's my watch collection, watch them spin. You know, so but that was still fun.
That was still fun. I remember.
I would take it back in a heartbeat. So
yeah. It's better than not having him at all, right? Think about that. So
yeah,
you know, we took it for granted.
For real. I mean, all that stuff was like, you know, whenever you're community building and you're on the way up on stuff, I feel like everyone always takes all those moments for granted. I've done it a bunch, and it's just that's the fun, easy part of things. You know, it gets harder, and we've experienced all that. So hopefully it gets less hard now, and there's more excitement, opportunity coming up. I just got the knock, guys. I gotta go.
Knock. Yeah, it's great seeing you. I love the facial hair, man. Looks awesome.
Dude,
look good.
Thank you, Marco. Great. It was awesome seeing you too. I'm glad y'all came on by, man.
Thank you, Big K. You're gonna miss trivia, man. So
I'm sorry, but I gotta go.
Okay.
There's a tight night tonight for me to make it. So
well, I'm glad you did make it.
I'm glad I did too.
The season premiere of our show, which we
gotta be here.
Before you go, we have like the highest viewership right now. Big K and I planned this thing at the bottom of the Hex market.
We did.
Like,
we did.
What?
We did.
A week and a half ago or whatever that was.
It was right at the exact bottom.
Let's get
do
together. And then boom, just moon from there. So let's keep it going. All right.
Yeah, I'm excited. Let's plan another one.
All right. Sounds good.
I'll talk to y'all soon.
Be good, buddy.
Later, everybody. Thank you so much.
Later, brother. Yeah, man. Enjoy dinner.
All right. Well, I did mention we got a little trivia before we go, so we can do that.
Forget about these things. All right, let's do it.
Wear a top hat to the court hearing. I don't think you can wear hats in the courtroom.
No, they remember it. Yeah.
Yeah. So no top hats in the courtroom. I mean, you can maybe hold it and hope they don't take it away from you, but they maybe will take it away from you until you get out. So I don't know. But yeah, just the main message, as you know, we stated earlier, just look good, presentable, like you are worthy of being represented by, you know, attorneys that are being supported by who knows how much.
Yeah, business casual. That's all.
Yeah, business casual.
You don't have to wear a suit if you don't want to.
Yeah, you don't have to wear a suit, but yeah, business casual. All right, well, let's do this before we wrap up here. We got a little crypto trivia. Big K is like the usual champion. Rags, I think you're the only one here. SJ, have you done trivia here before?
This is my first time on your show.
Really? No,
yeah.
It is not.
Yeah.
I mean, Marco's been here too, but maybe it wasn't an official happy hour.
Yeah, it was like more of a just like
a celebration or something
or
like that. It was like 100 shows or whatever.
Yeah.
I can't keep track at this point. I know Rags, you have won a trivia contest, right? Yeah.
Rags is a smart ass. That's why he's a smart ass. This guy.
Okay.
He knows everything. He knows everything. This guy, man.
Well, let's get this going, and hopefully, you know, I try to make it easy in the first round to get everybody out of the first round because that's my job, and then after that, y'all are on your own. So, the first rule is that participants, that's you guys, or you two guys and gal, turn off your interfaces and turn the chat to private there. And we're going to get the audience participation in this. So you can't see the answers and the guesses. Take your time in answering as I will repeat each question. Now, like I said, the first one's kind of easier, but then after that, you all are on your own. So here we go. First for Marco. And these are fun too. Some of them are. Name something that has gotten users wrecked on PulseChain.
Pulse Latina. I hated that bitch. I hated that one. I warned everybody about that one, man.
That is an acceptable answer. It is on my list.
Oh, it is? Oh, look at that.
Rags2Riches. Name something that has gotten users wrecked on PulseChain.
That was the worst one.
Dodeca.
I remember that one too. Wow.
Oh, Dodeca.
We should have like 2 rounds of this. I only made 1. Wow, amazing. SJ, name something that has gotten users wrecked on PulseChain.
I feel like a lot of people were affected by this. PLUSD.
Yeah. I think that is quite fair.
Okay.
Because it took the elevator down. That is also on the list.
Yeah, to level 0. Yes.
Dodeca.
The basement floor. Yeah.
Yeah, Dodeca was wild.
There's so many rugs and stuff like that in the beginning. Oh my god, I remember that.
LUSD. Michael sacrifices. All right, see, we're creative.
We're creative. I was going to say that.
Well done, well done.
I was, but like it is what it is.
I thought it too. I'm like, I'm going to keep this. Not my show.
No, come on. We're here to have fun. Selling. There you go. All right. Back to the normal rounds here. We'll go around the room. I'll go clockwise. Marco, Rags, and then SJ. Marco, what crypto founder is scheduled to be released from prison? And I'm going to repeat this to get the audience participation. So take your time.
Easy.
It is easy. What crypto founder is scheduled to be released from prison on September 29th? What crypto founder is scheduled to be released from prison on September 29th?
I don't know how to pronounce his full name and last name, but CZ from Binance, the former CEO.
Changpeng Zhao.
Changpeng Zhao. Yes.
There you go.
There you go. Mudhog.
No,
Your
before we
first-
continue, it's true,
Yes.
right? He cannot participate anymore in crypto for like 3 years or something like that, or 5 years. I heard
Right. No official.
like
Yeah, 3
nothing, right?
years.
Like nothing, like total ban or something.
Yeah.
well, just like the SEC's trying to do to Richard, they want him
Yeah.
to like never talk about crypto again. I was like, what?
Yeah,
Like
that's insane.
you're just trying to suppress
thing.
somebody's speech as like
You
a
know,
penalty for your, misconstrued, misguided suit. Anyway,
Clowns.
yes. Rags to Riches,
Mhm.
aka Brandon Davis at buildthetech.com.
Mhm.
Again, I will repeat the question to encourage audience participation. What U.S. company recently boosted its Bitcoin holdings with a $458 million purchase?
MicroStrategy.
Everybody is ignoring my. Let me repeat the question so the
That's
audience
right, my
can. But you are correct.
Audience engagement. Sorry.
It is MicroStrategy.
that's so funny.
I was freaking out. I saw the ticker in my head, but I forgot the name of the company. But yeah, good.
MSTR.
Yeah.
A wild SJ, over to you. Don't be terrified. You got out of the first round. If you didn't get out of the first round, then that would be we'd have some issues. But yeah. Richard Hart earlier this week was accused of tax evasion in what country? Earlier this week, Richard, this is SJ.
Mhm.
Richard Hart was accused of tax evasion in what country?
There's 2 countries that come to mind, and I know it's one of them. And I want to say it's Finland.
What's the other one you had in mind?
Switzerland.
Okay. So you're going with?
Oh, shoot. Finland.
Is that your final answer?
I hate when you do this. Because I remember seeing a paper and someone saying that's not even Finnish. It's Finland. It's Finland.
You're locking it in?
Yeah.
The correct answer is
Yes.
Finland. Good job. Move on to round 3. Marco. These kind of get a little easier here.
I hope,
because I think we've covered these, but so for whatever reason, round 3 is pretty easy. Where will the PLS 369 conference be held in March?
where or the dates?
Where?
I believe is it Vegas? March 6th to 9th, I
I
think.
mean, you're putting in dates for extra credit, but are you locking in Vegas as your final?
Or is it
answer?
Miami? Oh my god. I think yeah, I'll say Vegas. I know it's Miami, but I'll say Vegas.
Should have more confidence in yourself out of the gate. It is Vegas, Mark.
Oh, okay, good.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah. For some reason I keep on thinking like Miami. Why? I don't know.
Maybe 2026.
Yeah.
Miami, let's go.
There you go. Rags to Riches. The Richard Hart SEC hearing is scheduled to be held on what date? The Richard Hart SEC hearing is scheduled to be held on what date?
See, I listened to instructions that time.
Good job. I was
It was difficult. It was difficult. It got rescheduled to October 31st, Halloween.
correct.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And SJ, you luck out because you'll hear the question. Where will this hearing be held? So where will the Richard Hart SEC hearing be held?
Brooklyn, New York.
There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
All right, now we're
Red
rolling
Doro.
with some Richard Hart tweets. I think the difficulty level
Shit.
increases here. Here we go. Marco,
Yes, sir.
citing a political poll conducted on X, Richard Hart's account recently posted, quote, apparently my followers are smarter than most. Hashtag this. Who was hashtagged? I'll say it again. Citing a political poll conducted on X, Richard Hart's account recently posted, quote, apparently my followers are smarter than most. Hashtag blank. Who was hashtagged?
I think Kamala Harris. Because I think it was one of those polls where I know it's a political one, and he's basically saying Hexican is smart if we chose Trump over Kamala. So I think it was hashtag Kamala, if I'm not mistaken. I think, but I'll go with that.
You're going Kamala, final answer?
Yes, sir.
No answers in the chat. Chat is silent. The correct answer is hashtag Trump.
Ah, damn.
Marco, you've been rugged. But depending upon how Rags and SJ do, you may have a chance. But for now, you've been rugged. All right. We have SJ and we got Rags. 2 Richard Hart tweets to go. Rags. Richard Hart's X account recently tweeted or posted. The DEA could pretend coins are drugs and arrest everyone for drugs. The ATF could pretend coins are guns and arrest everyone for guns. The SEC could pretend coins are securities. ... Hashtag blank. What blockchain was hashtagged? I'll read it one more time for the audience. Richard Hart's X account recently posted, the DEA could pretend coins are drugs and arrest everyone for drugs. The ATF could pretend coins are guns and arrest everyone for guns. The SEC could pretend coins are securities. ... Hashtag blank. What blockchain was hashtagged?
Hmm.
And Hex is now over at a 0.8 of a penny.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say we'll just go ahead and go with. We'll go ahead and go with PulseChain. Hashtag PulseChain.
Hashtag PulseChain appears nowhere in the audience participation, which is unfortunate because the audience, unfortunate for Rags because the audience did get it right. Hashtag
ETH.
Ethereum Lunacy Point. I see what you did there with the name. Lunacy Point. Was that on purpose? All right. Rags for now, temporarily. Unless SJ misses here, you've been rugged. All right. SJ.
Okay.
For the win.
Okay.
Richard Hart's X account recently tweeted, I'm doing great and will... excuse me, let me start over. His X account recently tweeted, I'm doing great and will continue to do great no matter how many people attack me or whom they work for. Hex was hated and gatekept all the way to blank percent gains. How many percent was referenced? I'll repeat it again. Richard Hart's X account recently posted, I'm doing great and will continue to do great no matter how many people attack me or whom they work for. Hex was hated and gatekept all the way to blank percent gains. How many percent was referenced?
The number that I'm seeing in my head is 10,000. But that feels weird. But it could be right. Oh, shit. See, I wasn't here. I wasn't here when all that happened. Like,
oh, you're on Twitter, and this is fairly recent. Come on now.
I know. I definitely saw this tweet. I retweeted it. I mean, come on.
You're in the final round. Don't make excuses. Let's go. Let's get it.
I just feel I feel silly like not knowing what percent. You know what I mean? Like I should know that. 10,000%. 10,000%.
10,000%. Is that your final answer?
No. Because I felt like it was like a 10,000x. Is that the same thing as a 10,000%? It's not, right?
I might have to go to the audience because I'm looking for a specific number, and I think I know what they're going to say. So, audience is looking good. Some of you, most of you, in fact.
Ugh, it burns. Percent. Because I know it's more than 100%.
I certainly hope so for our sakes. Yeah. But
the 10,000% just feels too much. That's too much. It hurts my brain. Oh, you guys. 1,000%. Let's just meet in the middle.
1,000%.
Sure.
SJ, I'm sorry to say that you went the wrong way. You should have gone the other way.
Higher.
Because bro got it right. 1,000,000%.
Is that
was
real?
The tweet.
That
Yes.
really is that real though? Did that really
I mean,
happen?
the tweet's real.
I know,
So-
but but did it really get 1,000,000%?
Sorry,
Yeah.
SJ. You
bad.
take joy in knowing that you're coming back, but I have to do it. You've been rugged. Okay. All right. That means I guess we go to like a sudden death overtime here. So let's bring everyone back. 1,000,000%. And a lot of people got in the chat. Look at the Seamus
Oh, okay, that makes
and Mudhog,
sense.
and I mean there were some. I think I saw 100 in there and whatnot. But anyway, since we're pretty much out of questions and you all got to the final round, this one is going to be. Let me make sure the math is right.
Oh, numbers.
Yep.
SJ doesn't like numbers.
I'm sorry.
Let's talk about sci-vibe.
Yeah, when you said 100%, I was like, oh my god, I'll call the SEC myself.
That's right.
I'm about to cry. Like, what? That's a total rug.
We doubled and sold on a double, and then I guess
That's hilarious.
All right.
Wait, you got the X's right though.
Right? I remember that.
That counts.
It's in a
That counts.
song. It's
That
the
counts.
one like auto-tuned song. 10,000x, something like that.
And,
Probably a Hexican song.
yeah.
It is.
If not, it soon will be.
I can't think of it.
All right. So for the tiebreaker question, this goes to all yous. Rags, you are up to answer first. So, depending upon, how people play Price is Right, people could go higher or lower than your initial answer, but it's the pecking order that we have been given. So, the current T-share rate for Hex on PulseChain is, according to apphex.win/charts, how many Hex?
That's a good one.
The current T-share rate for PulseChain, P-Hex, Hex on PulseChain, is how many Hex?
Um,
And I'll say it's a 5-figure amount, obviously. Which started long, long ago at what? 10K?
yeah.
And there have been tweets about it as well recently, just because it's, always increasing.
So basically, whoever gets closest.
Yes.
Let's say, oh gosh, man. On PulseChain, I don't know. We'll do 37,122. 37122.
Wait, he said 30.
37122.
122. So Marco's going to go 37123. That's what he's going to do.
It's a risky endeavor.
Let me see.
And yes, you can go over. We're not going to do prices right. So, that's fun.
I remember back then we were celebrating like close to like 16,000. We did that.
See some good answers in the chat.
This is pHex reset, right? pHex.
pHex. This is it.
I'll go with 26,000. 26,500. Yeah, 26,500.
26,500. SJ,
like it's more, but
over to you, and I'll just repeat the question one more time. The T-share rate for pHex, hex on PulseChain, is how many hex?
What was Rags' answer? What did Brandon say?
Rags went with 37,122. Marco went with
26,
nice even
26.5. I should have played closer to Rags.
36,900. Did you draw that?
I did, because it's
okay.
That's pretty good.
Her friend texted it to her. That's what happened. Kick her out.
That's funny.
Recent people were tweeting about it, so I was like, maybe it's one of our numbers,
Gotcha. I see what you did there. So, the
369,
correct answer is, I'm sorry, Marco, you were furthest away.
Damn.
You were quite far away. Rags and SJ were right there.
Damn.
So I'm looking at it right now on apex.win/charts. The current T-share rate. Rag said 37,122. SJ said 36,900. The current T-share rate is how many hex on PulseChain? 36,754, which means SJ, you are the winner of trivia. Congratulations.
Good job.
Thank you.
And with this, I'm sure you've seen the show before, but with this victory, you, a wild SJ, get to address the happy hour audience. Take it away.
Hello, happy hour audience. It has been a long time coming for this moment, for me to shine and to thank you for all of your support, all of the emojis and memes that you've sent along the way. Seriously, though, thanks everyone for being here and for holding tight over these last 5 years. I've been here for about 3.5. I know that a lot of you have been here working just as hard that entire time. I'm really glad to be a part of this community. I'm really looking forward to seeing people coming from all over the world to this hearing on October 31st. PulseChainTour.com. I gotta shill all the things. Come on out. It's gonna be awesome, y'all. Like we said on the stream earlier, it's really important that we're building together. That's how our time should be spent. I know we haven't heard from him in a while, but if you go back and listen to Richard, like we all should, remember that the things that he repeatedly would say is that he is, of all the things that he's done or created or been a part of, he's the most proud of our community. And I feel like I can stand in confidence and say that I think he's still proud of what I've been doing over the last 3 years. Can you do the same? Have you been building? Have you been building people up? So keep on keeping on. It's exciting as someone who's never seen a bull run before. Like, just these little green candles are really something, really something else, folks. And I'm still in I'm in the disbelief phase because I don't understand bull market. Like, I don't really know what that means or what it looks like. Shilla Conference, PulseChain is coming at you. Las Vegas, 369 Pulse Tour. It's going to be fantastic. If you want to get 20% off of your tickets and you want to sign up early and come and do all that with us, it's going to be, you can use VETS, VETS as a discount code. You can use RG3 as a discount code. I believe Access is also a discount code. And you get 20% off right now. You missed 36.9% off. What can I say? I like those numbers. 369 goes great. And, you know, come be a part of it. Bring your project, bring your friends. We might do a hackathon. We might have, you know, we want to bring eyes from outside of the community into this. And in that vein, that's something that we're doing with FanForge. RG3 is heavily involved in that project, and so am I. And they're bringing storytelling and digital collectibles to blockchain. And in part, they're going to be doing some stuff with PulseChain for that. So they're really excited about coming and bringing what they have coming to the table to the PulseChain event in Vegas, March 6th through the 9th. Y'all are the best. I'm just happy to be here. Thanks, everyone. PulseChainTour.com. Yay.
Excellent work. Excellent work.
Good job,
stuff.
man.
And congratulations. That was fun. That
was great.
That was great.
Well said.
We haven't had well said, most importantly. And the numbers 369 won you trivia.
They did.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. Well, if that shilling wasn't enough for you, let me tell you something. We have a little more, because what we do here is we're going to go around the room before we leave and let everybody shill themselves. Where can we find you? Rags2Riches / Brandon Davis / buildthetech.com.
Yeah. So at Brandon Davis R2R, I've got a podcast that I launched. Most of you guys didn't know about it because I haven't really talked about it much, but get to interview kind of cool people there. And it's more of like maybe like a white label podcast there. So doing well on there, and it's called The Brandon Davis Show. You can find me on Spotify and iTunes and app, you know, everything, all the places, and buildthetech.com. So I created this company to serve PulseChain and then also broader communities. And my angle here is, you know, if you want a place that you can trust, that you're not going to get screwed over, and then you have somebody that's going to back up what they say, back up their words, then you can come to that website and we can have a discussion. And I'll tell you straight. If it doesn't make sense, I'll tell you. If it makes sense, I'll tell you, and we'll go from there. So thanks for having me on the show. As always, appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. And you have fans in the chat of your show.
Yep.
So good stuff. Good stuff. And yes, we go down to Mr. Marco The Hexican.
First, thanks for having me on. It's great for actually not ever been on to be on officially, so that's cool. It's good to see all you guys, honestly, man. It's good to see all you guys. You guys look happy. You guys look fresh. I know I said that earlier, but it's good, right? I really hope everybody gets everything they want in the next couple of months to the next year. I really hope we do see the candles we've been dying for the past 3 years. You know, and if you do, guys, please be smart with it this time. You know, change your life. Pay off all your debt. Pay off all the things that matters. Not Rolexes, not cars, not garbage. Like, really change your life, because you never know how many times we actually get this type of chance, right? Where you can find me, I'm all over the place, right? I'm on Twitter. I'm in Telegram. You know, I'm just helping people out left and right. I'm jumping on spaces here and there. I'm actually been doing a lot of streams with a lot of people recently the past 2 weeks. So you'll see me there. You'll see me all over the place. So like I said, I wish everybody the best. Smile, love your family, you know, love yourself, and just be happy. You know, be grateful for what we got. Hashtag, you know, Trump 2024.
And hashtag Trump was the answer to a trivia question.
Yeah, man. Damn.
You said Kamala.
And well, because I remember he was talking trash about her, so I just wanted it. You know, he did it before. He tagged her, so you know.
Got it. Any Wild SJ, we had your shilling earlier, but it's okay because you earned that right. And as we do, like I said, at the end of the show, you know, our positivity princess, as Hex Monkey has said in the chat, where else? Where can we find you? Because I mean, you shilled all the things, but where can we find you and shill anything else that you would like to?
Sure, I'd love to. So you can find me at awildsj on all the social medias. I do a little bit of more like personal stuff about my bus life and my travels on Instagram, so you can find that there. X is usually just kind of what we're talking about here, and let's see. What else? I do the YouTubes every now and then, occasionally. In fact, so another place that I can be found very often is on the effing Hangout with RG3. In case anyone didn't know, I'm his executive producer, and I do a lot of work in terms of running his show, and we are changing a whole lot right now. So we're no longer doing Chatting with the Captain. If you want to talk about
oh, Jinx, what's up?
Yeah, what's up, Jenkins? Coin or project or anything like that, come on effing hang out and talk about what you want to talk about. But we are kind of like moving into a new era in terms of the content that we're going to do, and it's going to be very much focused on crypto law, like who's doing what, like what treasurers are talking about it, what states are more crypto friendly, where can you go if you want to be a digital nomad. So things that are kind of going to be more broader audience, and getting more information on really like the nuts and bolts of like what's going on in the world with crypto, instead of being kind of just so focused on our little ecosystem. We're branching out, and we're going to do a lot of words a lot bigger kind of content coming at you. So I'm really happy to be a part of that, and looking forward to, especially like I mentioned, this FanForge thing. Check out fanforge.xyz. They've got a lot of really awesome creative people on their team, and my life has come full circle because I used to work for Blizzard Entertainment, and now I'm working with artists from Blizzard Entertainment to bring all of this storytelling and gaming and things like that to blockchain. So that's a little bit about me, and I'm still working on Sci-Vive, ladies and gentlemen. There's still the work to be done in terms of the text and that content. So hopefully more to come on that soon. I may or may not have had a DM with someone about it and what we're gonna do about it. So he's not gone, you guys. Like, he's still around.
SEC's like, grab her now. Grab her now.
Get her. She's coming to the conference. She's coming to the case. Get her.
Oh, also, just in case anyone was confused, Richard will not be in New York. I had some people, I had some people oh, is Richard going to know? Definitely, that was never a thing. Richard was never coming, like as far as
don't believe the rumors, don't believe none of that shit. He's not coming.
Yeah, so it's us. It's about us showing up for him.
Rock on. Well, thank all of you.
How about you, man? Let people know who you are.
SJ.
And where they can find you.
Oh, I am Cabana Crypto on all the socials. So the Instagrams, and I just post like fun things on there. But of course the X, and on this channel as well. So yeah, good to see you guys. Thank you, Big K. If you do watch the end of the show, enjoy the time with your family. In chat, y'all killed it. It's good to have a full room again, full of comments, funny and thoughtful and intelligent, and sometimes otherwise, but we love it. That's why we do this show. It is a happy hour. So just stay tuned to X. Big K and I'll post, when we have another show planned, and let us know who you like maybe to see as guests. But that's another thing too, is like trying to get guests. Thank you, Rags and Brandon and Marco for coming on and just being like, hey, we're in. Sometimes it's like pulling teeth, especially in a bear market, but don't think I haven't tried a few times either. And SJ,
I got to make up for all the times I blew you off, man.
It's true.
That's so funny.
And then shout out to Expensive T, who connected myself with SJ to get her on as well. So it just ended up being just a even more fun happy hour than we first thought. So
shout out to BK earlier too. Shout out to him.
Big K, have it your way. So
hey, and thank you for the kind words earlier, buddy. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rags, for talking up Marco. I appreciate it.
It was a lie, all of it, so it doesn't matter. I gotta apologize to Big K. I felt like he was so happy when we came in, and then me and Marco just started going, You just kind of deflated.
It happens pretty much every show. Not the deflation, but just the chill out. The aura.
Okay, good. All right.
You know he's all good when he's just sitting back in his chair and smiling behind those sunglasses. And
he's chilling, man.
He's tuned in, but not kind of maybe. I don't know. But you ask him a question, he's like, boom. So yeah, he's definitely tuned in.
Things are gonna be all right, folks. We're exactly where we're supposed to be, ladies and gentlemen. Don't get down. We're good. We're good.
I like it.
Yep.
And thank you, Mr. DJ Cryptomatic.
Great stream, sir.
Thank
you. Great
pregame
music, as always, and fun being on your show yesterday. What the Hex with Papa B and pDAI and Toby Wan, who was also in the chat earlier. So good stuff there. So yes. All right. Well, that'll about do it. Thank you, guys and gal. But SJ's one of the guys, kind of, right?
All my life.
Hang around us enough.
Most men we have. So.
You're in crypto, so it's like, what's
gaming,
this?
Crypto.
A woman?
Always been that way.
Nah, she does a lot, man. She does a lot behind the scenes.
And shout out to Kaylin again as well, and the captain.
Yeah, you guys rock, man.
Taking it everywhere. Yep. And that's what we need, and that's kind of like what Marco spoke to earlier. You know, it's just like the positive things that we can do. Everybody could do something, and I think a big takeaway from the stream was what Marco said to clip, and some big things might be happening or are in the works, but we could see maybe some fruits of that early in 2025. So be kind to the communities and interact and learn from them, see what's going on and what works, what doesn't. All good messages, man. So thank you for delivering that.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, we will see y'all next show. Like I said, stay tuned to the socials, and we'll catch you next time. Cheers, everybody.